When you think of a submarine, what comes to mind? The massive warships of World War I and II. Huge metal cylinders equipped with sonar and torpedoes. If you're from Connecticut, maybe you picture Groton, nicknamed the submarine capital of the world, home to the New London Naval Submarine Base. However, just half an hour away, there's a very different submarine. At the Connecticut River Museum in Essex, you'll find an exhibit on the first submarine ever used in warfare. It was called the Turtle, named after its oblong, shell-like shape. Built in 1775, this one-man submarine carried only a half-hour supply of air once submerged. So how did such a small invention grow to become impactful enough to earn multiple recreations and a permanent exhibit? Let's dive deeper. In 1776, just a year after the start of the Revolutionary War, American forces struggled to hold back the British. The 13 colonies were fighting the world's most powerful empire with the most dominant navy. The Royal Navy blockaded New York Harbor with possibly over 300 ships. Such a blockade strangled trade, cutting off vital goods like food and weakening entire communities. At the head of this blockade was the Eagle, a 64-gun warship. So who did the Americans turn to in hopes of breaking the blockade? Not the French, not a seasoned spy or sailor. Instead, they relied on David Bushnell, a Yale graduate and farmer with no prior boating experience. Born in 1740 near Saybrook, Bushnell entered Yale in 1771 and began experimenting with exploding gunpowder underwater. Even before the war, he was already imagining how a submarine might be built. The original Turtle's location is unknown today, but Bushnell described it in detail in a letter to Thomas Jefferson, later published in 1799. This record allows us to understand his invention. The Turtle's mission was simple, but daring. Travel underwater, attach a timed mine to the hull of an enemy ship, then escape before it detonated. Its design was innovative for the time. 2 wooden shells were joined together, coated in tar for waterproofing, and topped with a metal hatch. Attached was a powder keg mine made of hollowed oak, connected by rope to a screw that could dig into a ship's hull. Once in place, the mine's timer, crafted by clockmaker Phineas Pratt, could be set up to 12 hours, giving the operator enough time to retreat. Inside, the operator sat on a wooden bench that also reinforced the sub against water pressure. Everything had to be done in near darkness, illuminated only by foxfire, a faint natural glow applied to the compass and depth gauge. Controlling the Turtle demanded intense multitasking. To descend, the operator pressed a foot valve that let water in. To rise, he worked hand pumps to force water out. Moving forward or backward meant turning a crank-powered screw, while a rudder guided direction. All of this had to be done quickly, silently, and with a barrel of explosives on board. Even so, the risk was immense. The first mission came on September 6, 1776, with Sergeant Ezra Lee as the pilot. He cranked the vessel forward, guided only by his glowing compass. After a difficult approach, he finally reached the Eagle. Soldiers' voices echoed from above as he descended beneath the warship and tried to screw the mine into its hull. But instead of digging in, the Turtle bounced off. Bushnell believed Lee had struck iron fittings near the rudder rather than the wooden hull. Lee tried again and again, but the currents pushed him off course, and the compass slipped out of alignment. With dawn approaching and air running low, he surfaced, spotted by the British, and in desperation, he released the mine. It drifted away, later exploding harmlessly, but startling the fleet. Although the mission failed to sink the Eagle, the sudden underwater explosion rattled the British, who had never encountered such a weapon. The Turtle was later captured and reportedly sunk, though Bushnell claimed it was recovered. Its fate after that remains unknown. Yet the Turtle's legacy lived on. In 1976, Joseph Leary and Fred Fries launched a replica to celebrate the submarine's 200th anniversary. Decades later, students in Connecticut built their own working model with support from the Naval Underwater Warfare Center. Today, you can visit the Connecticut River Museum to see a recreation and learn how a farmer's unlikely invention changed naval warfare forever.